Hello again, my friend, and welcome to Neighborhood Tour number 4. I am your host, Maggie. I live here in Panama, and I just want to take you along as we discover other parts of Panama besides El Congrejo, San Francisco, Balboa, Costa del Este. There's a lot more to Panama City, right? Remember, the city has 26 different neighborhoods. And today we want to focus, I want to draw your attention to Pueblo Nuevo, which is not an area that we typically think of. And of course, you, my audience, you are the single older woman, and I want you to know what your other options might be, especially if you're looking for something a little bit more affordable than what's been happening on Balboa and some of these other areas. Pueblo Nuevo is really centrally located. It borders San Francisco, San Miguelito, Betania, Rio Abajo, Parque Lefebvre, right? So it is really central. And in some things that I've read, that can be a vulnerability because it is so accessible. And it is between two metro stations, metro estaciones would be El Ingenio and Pueblo Nuevo. So in between those two sits Pueblo Nuevo, which is about 5.8 square miles. It is not huge. But one area I want to focus on today is Hato Pintado, which in Spanish, it translates to painted cattle ranch. And it is said that it used to be cattle country. The area was established, it used to be dairy farms in the 1930s. And then in the 1970s, they decided to kind of transition and make it into more of a residential area. So when you are walking in Pueblo Nuevo, you're going to see a lot of homes that look a bit old with the yellow tin roofs that you could see like when you're on the metro and you go into San Miguelito and what's this other little area where you see a lot of tin roofs. So it talks about the age of the neighborhoods and the homes, the dwellings. But as things, years have passed, they have started to introduce some development. And when we say development, we need going vertical, the PHs, right? So they have several, like 30 plus such dwelling. And I noticed one of the newer development is called PH Balcony, right? And apparently it was completed, the first phase was completed in 2024. And I think Charlotte Van Horn has mentioned that, and there's another couple here that did apartment tours. Now, I don't do apartment tours because I leave it to these experts. I prefer to do walking tours because I'm a walker. And yesterday I walked over 11,000 steps. So that's how I look at it, but I like to be out there. So the area, Pueblo Nuevo, a little bit older, dated, mix of 1-2-story dwellings and development. And let's see, population in Pueblo Nuevo, I read about 24,000. But inside Pueblo Nuevo, as a corregimiento, a neighborhood, you have smaller pockets of neighborhoods that I think they refer to as townships. Kind of like reminds me of South Africa. But in Pueblo Nuevo, you have like La Loma, you have Hato Pintado, and they have some other ones, Los Pintos. I want to focus on Hato Pintado because it is in such a quieter part of Pueblo Nuevo. And then I would think the standard in terms of housing is a little bit higher. When you go to Pueblo Nuevo and you're walking around, you feel like you're among the people, okay? I did not see anybody who remotely resembled an expat, and I'm boots on the ground. And Hato Pintado is kind of tucked away in a hilly area. And it has about 3,700 people, so it's not that big itself, all right? So when I take you on the walk, you're gonna see different types of dwelling. So let's think about pricing. Oh, how about access? We talked about the 2 metro lines. It is about a 15, 20-minute walk to Hospital San Fernando, very important. I saw multiple pharmacies. There's an El Rey, and I'm pretty sure there is Super 99 somewhere. I did not look for Super 99. I saw FedEx, so it is well, or Arocha, right? So it is well supported in terms of what's available to you. In terms of access, I love the hilly areas because it's good for your legs, right? And it's good for my heart because I have these COVID lungs, so I have to constantly be working on. From where I was in Hato Pintado, it was maybe a 15-minute walk to Ray. So you could hop in an Uber back and forth, but having a car would be nice. And for example, the building, the PH called balcony, it's on a dead-end street, so great. The area itself, Hato Pintado, it's about a few meters, above sea level. So you get excellent views. And I'm gonna assume, from every apartment, you'd have a lot, beautiful city views. And you probably can see the ocean too, because, remember, Panama is a stretch of land between two oceans. So you're gonna have a view, maybe not full, but you're gonna see the ocean, right? Not everywhere. In terms of rent prices, so I told you it's very accessible, not the sidewalk. I did not say sidewalk. Do not say I said that. Don't go there for the sidewalks. But, there was also a small market. I didn't get to go to see it yesterday because I got caught in a monsoon. The heavens open and OMG. Because you have hills, the water was just rushing down. So anyway, I'll tell you a joke on the way as I'm talking to you. Um, let's see what else do we have there. We talked about the transportation. We talked about hospitals. So I saw clinics. There's a big school there. So in between the major arteries, because Transit Avenue Simon Boulevard passed close to it, crossed that yesterday. And Via España is not far. 12 de Octubre, those are major arteries. And then you have two metro lines and multiple buses. So the price is really quickly. You could get a one bedroom in one of those one-story dwelling, 500 up to 750, right? And then if you go inside those high rises, it could be a bit higher. So two bedrooms might run you up to maybe $1,200 a month. And if you go to three bedrooms, which, some people do, it might cost about $1,400. But then you're looking at amenities, right? Recently, this week, there was a protest from Hato Pintado about water access, okay? Suministro del agua. So just because you're in the city doesn't mean you don't get challenged with, what do we call those? The services. So apparently the water only comes on a few hours a day. And I was like, I'm just shocked. So there was a protest. And Edon, which is the company that provides water, that company has had more issues than anything I've ever seen. It's like we have pockets. People are just saying there's no water. So it's a challenge. All right. So if you're looking for quiet, less noise, but as I go around, also, I show you that there's some areas you would say, maybe not. But that one, yes, it's not so close to the major roads where you don't have all that noise and honking, but it's close enough. And there are several dwellings like that. Oh, before I stop and we get up with the walk, crime. Okay. From what I've read, Pueblo Nuevo used to be a very family-oriented, small, quiet neighborhood. But like a lot of other cities, it's been experiencing some level of crime, meaning thefts, robberies, pickpocketing, some assaults, but also there has been some murders. So like you could find anywhere. Like we just had a recent something in the news about somebody being killed in their own apartment not far from here. So crime is part of life because people are wretched and they want to do what they want. They want to get what they want. And then you kind of mix that with crime and other societal issues. It's a perfect storm. So there was a femicide recently in May. Was it in May? And there was double murders in August. Oh, we're still in August. So I'm trying to say, you walk into any neighborhoods with your eyes open. Don't think it's going to be, oh, la, 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 la. They have crime in Bukete, they have crime in Chiriquí. So wherever you go, you're going to have some level of crime, right? People report crimes in Coronado. So just be smart, right? And definitely, if I wanted to live in a place like that, I would want to have a building with security, right? You do your due diligence. So get your drink. I already had my coffee. Sit down, relax, and enjoy the walk. You're going to enjoy that, okay? So I hope you're going to like, share, subscribe. Thank you for my new subscribers. I noticed that we're going up, and I am so grateful. Please keep it going because you know your sis is doing the best that I can to give you content that, even if you're not saying I'm moving to Panama, but just a visual, right? To see another part of the country, how people live, what the houses look like. I mean, I'm a curious George. I like to see things. And if I can't travel to a place, I live vicariously to other people like myself. All right. So sit down, relax, hit that like button and subscribe. And I'll see you on the other side. Au revoir. All right, getting ready to go, walking to the metro. Oh, yes, so I scan my card and I go down to the platform to catch line 1 going towards Via Saita, right? So always remember your directions. There we go. Line 1 goes to Albrook and Via Saita. Okay, I got off the metro stop called El Ingenio into this area. I think I stopped here when I was visiting one time. I wasn't familiar with it, and I'm still not familiar with it, but that's what the map says. And I accidentally stumbled upon the China Depot, but I will do another video about, I did go in there, you know, it's nosy. So I'll post another video about the China Depot, but I'm heading towards Pueblo Nuevo, and you could see it doesn't really look like where I live, but that is another part of Panama. There is a lot more. Now this busy road is Avenida Simon Bolivar, which is Transitsmica. So I keep walking, and then I came across this cute little market, and I was like, yeah, let me check it out. Again, Curious George. I think it's called Freshly Market or something like that. And I did go in, and that's where I tried to sumai. But again, that's another short video that I will post showing you. People were very nice in there. I had a cappuccino. It was a bit cold, but I tried the sumai. And then the young man who was in there, I asked him, how do I get to Hato Pintado? And he told me, so you have to cross over. Ooh. And I ended up crossing that Transitsmica. Yes, but the Lord was with me. So he said to get to that corner and then turn right and another right to get to Hato Pintado, which is that smaller neighborhood within Pueblo Nuevo. So you see basic dwellings, you know, infrastructure, a bit dated. Ooh, that was my finger. I apologize. And you know, traffic wasn't that bad. I can imagine that towards the afternoon it would be bad. And like Junta Comunal, I think when you get to a neighborhood, this is where they handle the business of the community. If I'm saying that wrong, please somebody correct me. But I know in Panama City there is the alcalde. They have the office of the mayor here. But in smaller communities, they have the Junta Comunal. All right. Why was I pointing there? So I must have made the right turn, yes, and I'm heading, oh no, that again. I'm heading towards, I think I was on what is it? Fernandez de Cordoba. Avenida Fernandez de Cordoba, yes. And then I'm looking to turn left to get into, yes, to get into, I'm trying to remember what I did. It's a good thing it was only yesterday, otherwise I would say, oh, I forgot. Yes, I forgot the name of the street. Avenida something, but anyway. So I am heading, please don't ask me if it's east, west, north, or south. I get myself so confused with the directions in Panama. I just know where I live, and I know this part here is central Panama City, as I explained earlier. Now, like I said, don't move here for the sidewalks. There we go. Giving you a view of the neighborhood. Look at the sidewalk. Yep. Pay attention. Oh my God, look at the gates. So many gates in the iron. The ironwork is absolutely stunning. I loved it. And I was probably the only one walking the streets. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, no one stopped to ask me what I was doing here. Some other places that we live would say, somebody would call somebody to come and tell you, what business do you have here? Not in Panama. All right, remember that. People mind their own business. If I'm not trying to break into somebody's home, there is a police station not too far, not going that way, but the opposite from where I came, right next to the Junta Comunal. All right, and I saw this little subdivision, took a picture. I was on the other side, so it looks a little far. I started to see a change in the housing. They look a little bit better kept. So a little bit more affluent neighborhood. So we were getting into, across the street, Hato Pintado. And as I've mentioned before, a lot of homes have these iron fences. There you go, Junta Comunal. Yep. And when I talked about the crime, they also mentioned that some of the neighborhood or the residents have kind of formed some group, and to kind of watch out, neighborhood watch, to, protect their communities. And they said that's what they need the most because, yeah, the police can only do so much. But you need eyes and boots on the ground just to see anything weird, call, right? All right, we're coming. More homes. And when you read about older homes in this community, not just Pueblo Nuevo, they say that the rooms were larger, like for a home that was built in the 70s compared to a home that is, built here. Like the little rooms that I saw in a balcony, I was like, oh, that is small. The kitchen, for me, that wouldn't work. Because any home I go to would have to have a decent kitchen. I need a decent kitchen. That's why I don't think I could live in a hotel, apartment hotel. To each his own. This is not a criticism. It's about choice, right? And I'm so old, I need to do and be where I'm comfortable. Here we go. We'll keep going. Yeah, I was going up the hill. It's a good thing I have cut down the noise because you would have heard me panting a little bit. Ooh. When I went to Guatemala, I almost died because there was like a 4 steps, sets of stairs I had to go. Oh my God, that was too hard for me. Those COVID lungs were rebelling. Now see, I love yellow. My house in Florida, I have a lot of yellow in my kitchen. And one of the tenants, we painted it gray. How boring. See, everybody has a gate. It reminds me of Africa. And the gates are electronic. And then they have all the iron all the way up to the windows. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't want to feel like I'm, gated like that. Oh, look at that. I missed that big old pot there. And I saw lots of nice cars, Mercedes and um, Lexuses, yes. So this area have more people who are a bit more affluent. I think I read that, there are doctors who lives in these homes. And if it's your neighborhood, you bought your house, you're not going to be willing to part with it unless something really bad happens. So, yeah. And the streets are pretty wide, as you can see, right? And then you have those streets, offshoots on the right and left that are a little bit more private. At the park, I think I'm on the road that's going to be close to the balcony. Yes, 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 yes. Look at that. This is the balcony. Isn't it nice when you see a picture and then you're looking at the real thing? I wanted a video about the foliage, the vegetation, how lush and green everything is in Panama. That was one of the things that attracted me to the country. Look at that. Gorgeous. Ooh. Of course, it wouldn't stay home with me because I'd kill it. Oof. I have a black thumb. I'm looking at Marjorie over there. She dropped like 3 leaves yesterday, and I'm like, uh-oh, she gonna die? Yep, this is. All right, so now this is, I'm showing you the heat was real. All right, so I think I left. Ooh, look at those sidewalks. Ooh, gee. I think I was trying to, what was I trying to find? There is a park that is close to balcony. In fact, in the back of the building, yeah, here's balcony again. In the back of the building is that beautiful forest park, which is a lovely thing to see, and I'll show you in a minute. There was a gentleman, I think he was a worker, and he saw me. I went all the way to the end and turned around. He looked at me a little suspiciously, but he minded his own business. He didn't ask me who I was, what I was doing there. And there were homes on the street, and I can only imagine what these poor people went through when they were building balcony. And there is another lot that is empty, which means, oh, there he is. He looked at me a little funny. But he didn't say anything. And then this one, I think, is signature something. Look at that. It's pretty. No, this is balcony still. The one next to it is Bona Vista or something like that. PH balcony. I thought I took a shot all the way to the top, but anyway. So this is a dead-end street. Not much going on here. So, but at least you guys, I am not shaking that camera. I still plan to get the camera that I can just put on my chest and walk around with it. But it's like $500 some. It's like, whew. All right. I think this is the other lot on the right. Yes. So they're gonna build something there. So, uh-oh. You're gonna have noise for a while. Yep, I saw lots of food delivery, mopeds, lots of taxis, and I'm sure they have lots of Uber as well. You're in the city. Or InDrive. Some people love InDrive. I have not tried it yet, but people say it's safe. And this is the next building. This one looks like it's been here a little longer. I think I looked at the name. Buena something at the park. Come on, Maggie, show it, show it, show it, show it. At the park. I think on the top I saw the sign. Come on. I'm not showing it to you? Oh, well. So I saw this and I'm like, I read about the forest park. It's probably in this area. So I said, let's go. Curious George, I have to see. So it started with the hills. Not too bad. That's why I love to just do the walking tours. I don't think it's the same when you're driving through a place versus, you're just hitting that pavement. And you can tell about the elevation, If you have knee issues, can you stand it? And then I came across this lovely, lovely park. It's not big, but it gave me Parque Omar and Metropolitan Park vibes. It's very hilly though. All right. Ooh. So I got out. Those are pictures. Yeah, I think I turned. Oh, they're selling that house. Oh, okay, okay. So, again, get a feel for what it looks like. This is like a nursery school. It says A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it must be preschool or something like that. All right. I really thought I had given you a better shot of the park. It's probably in the next clip. But you see some of the high rises, and then this is just general what the homes look like in this area. I believe we are still in Hato Pintado. And then Pueblo Nuevo is the whole thing. Remember that. And Hato Pintado is just a small enclave. I like the two-story, but right now, if I were to buy, which I'm not, I would not buy anything with steps. You get to be a certain age. You got to be careful about everything. Where was I going? I thought I was looking for Avenida Fernández de Córdoba because I was like, okay, I think I saw the metro, the metro station. So I kept walking, and that's how I ended up with 11,000 steps, y'all. So don't cry for me, Argentina. It was good. It was good that I got my steps in. Because it was Thursday, and I don't work out on Thursdays. So, like right now, I'm going to finish with the video, and I'm going to hit the road again because I have to find out how to get to the stadium tomorrow for my concert. Yes, Maggie is going to a Romeo Santos and Prince Roy concert. Yep, I know. I'm 68, but hey, a little bachata never hurts anyone. Another high rise. And remember what I said. Life is just so disappointing these days with all the bad news. I do what I can to distract myself, and that's one of the things that I do. If I'm not cooking, I'm creating, I'm recording, Oh, there we go. Now I'm giving you a little shot of the park. I must have gotten out. You see all the SUVs? Those must be the most common cars that I see in Panama City. And of course, when you go in the interior, oh, there we go. Here is the park. Mira, Forestal Hato Pintado. Yes, that is the park. Very green. Aww, I didn't show you inside the park. But anyway, it is very beautiful. They have a large area for children to play with. So of course, in those buildings, you're going to have a mix of residents in terms of ages. This is not going to be, just for older folks. You're going to have a mix, which is not a bad thing. I mean, seeing children is not a bad thing. Look at this tree. I had to give a shot. Look at that. Oh, mira que belleza. I'm into trees. I love a very old canopy-like tree. Yes. All right, which way was I going? I think I was looking for 12 de Octubre because in that direction, that's where it is. But this is still Hato Pintado, Pueblo Nuevo mixed into one. Yes, but see, those sidewalks don't look as bad as the one before. Yes. So remember, you walk down and then you hit 12 de Octubre and you have everything there that you might want, okay? So remember, if you're looking for a place to live, this is what you look for. There's another high rise, a PH. Yep, little hill. On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross. You know, these old songs come to mind. Yes, I can't escape that. Yes, we're heading towards 12 de Octubre. Out of Hato Pintado, Painted Cattle Ranch. How about that? Who came up with that name? Why did they call it Painted? Good, it's nice to know these little trivia about places. I love all that. Stood in old rugged cross. There's another one on the right, but see, that one is just way too close to 12 de Octubre. You see, you can see those cars coming. Yeah, that's a busy street. This one is like park something. I wouldn't want to live there. It's just too close to the main road. Definitely will be noisy. Nope. But the ones that we passed, yeah, because it's a lot quieter. And you call an Uber if you go food shopping and stuff, or if you decide to go to the center and go to Price Mart, you could do that. And you in the center, so your Uber ride is not going to be more than $5. Not going to be more than that. Yes, yes, yes. I'm always worried, if I were to put like some background music and somebody said yesterday, oh, the music was too loud. I think people, because of our age groups, we don't want to be distracted with the background noise, with the music. So I think that's what I'll do. I see some creators always have background music. I think sometimes it might be a bit distracting for us or competing for our hearing. So we're just going to keep the music out when I am talking or someone is talking or I'm interviewing someone. No, I never have music on when I'm interviewing someone. But if, like when we were in Ife's backyard, this person said, oh, I couldn't hear what you were saying. I get it, and my apologies. I wasn't thinking that my audience, our hearing gets a little bit affected. All right, look at that. Nice. All right, so I think I'm coming to 12 de Octubre, right? I believe so. Then I had to figure out where the ray was. I think the ray was on the left because at that time I was sweating so much. I was hot. I was dehydrated, and I said, okay, I'm going to go inside Ray and get something cold to drink. And I think that's what I did. And you see the traffic? Yep. So we're outside of Hato Pintado now. We are in Pueblo Nuevo. But 12 de Octubre is also another area. So, when I got off the metro, I was like, oh, I remember that area being a little iffy. But I think I was confusing El Ingenio with the Pan de Azúcar, which is another metro stop where it was like, oh, Maggie, yep, he's Ray. Yep. Oh, I had to cross. Okay. I had to cross over, but the traffic wasn't bad, so it was easy for me to cross. Yay! Yep, I was showing you. Yeah, that finger there I wasn't giving you the finger. I'm a little crazy when I'm doing these things, so you got to bear with me. I'm taking you along. I didn't cross. I thought I did. Okay. Am I crossing now? Okay, I think I'm crossing now. Now look at the greenery in the median. Very nice. Oh, the lady crossed too. It reminds me of the median that I saw in Lima, Peru. In Lima, Peru, first of all, the roads look a lot nicer in the capital, and then in the middle they have trees, and it's like a big social part of the city when they have benches and they have paths for people to walk. It's like having a Cinta Costera in the middle of the street. It was really, I'm like, oh, that's kind of futuristic. All right, we're gonna turn left into this fancy Ray. It's got plenty of parking, and yeah, I was impressed. I was like, okay. But I think if you were to look for Ray, this is gonna be like 12 de Octubre. That's where we're gonna be the address. And I needed to also use the restroom, and so I went in. And after I used the restroom, washed my hands, and oh my God, you're gonna see the picture where I was just drenched. And then I said, well, let me find something to drink. If I go to a place and I use the restroom, they're kind enough to let me use it, I feel obligated to buy something. So I already had the coffee with the sumai, and then I said, okay, I need some water. And I was thinking at like some batido, which is like a shake or a smoothie. I could ask it with water. But there was a place there, what do they call that coffee? Juan Valdez. So I went in there and I told the girl, and I said, can I have un té frío? And she gave me like what looked like black tea. And I was like, oh, that's not going to work. All right, okay, now. Ooh, I think I have the clips out of order because this one is showing the park again. But I did not drink the tea. It was so sweet. So I turned around, I handed it to her, and I walked out. I was like, I'm not putting that much sugar in my body. Okay, so this is back to, please bear with me. I think I put the clips not in order, and I'm not going to redo this. This just takes too much time. Talks about when the park was established. I think it says 2022, yes. And did I show you anything else? You said all the paths. And then if you look, this is the streets. And of course, all the parks here, they have a place for you to take bags to pick up after your dog. But do you think everybody does? No. In fact, I read about it. I read about it that some people don't pick up after their dogs. And that's sad, right? All right. This is, I think I was heading back out. Why am I going back out again? And there's a gate, so the park does close. I didn't see the hours, but I'm pretty sure it closes at night. Okay, this is another direction. If I turn right, or am I going left again? Showing you the high rises. This looks nice. Now this road here where the park is, it's not that busy. It's, it's very quiet, and you get a mix of the PHs and regular. Yes, this is where, regular dwellings. And I was heading towards Fernandez de Cordoba. Yep. So that's why I walk 11,000 steps. I was all over the place. Oh, we have green. You see green? Okay. And the sidewalks are not too bad. Look at that. Now, I don't know if that's going to be wide enough for a wheelchair or anything, but if you had a walker and you stayed over here, okay. So Pueblo Nuevo itself may not be so accessible, but when you go into Hato Pintado, it might work. And there were some high rises on the right that look decent. I wouldn't mind living on this street. Now, don't ask me what the street is. I did not note it down. And then the houses are across the street. You see? Yeah. I think I crossed. And then people are behind their gates. Look at that. See? It looks quiet. I wouldn't mind staying there. What was that name? Something Tower. Oh, it moved fast. But keep in mind that if you want to consider this area, I would consider those. Probably it's older. They may have a better layout. I might be able to find a kitchen that is to my liking, in those high rises. And look at this house. I love that 3-story house. Look at that. Looks so adorable. And I said it was nestled between two PHs. They're probably trying to buy it from her or him so they can build another one. She's probably putting up a fight. You know how we get to be widowed, the husband's gone, and then they come to you and they want to take whatever you have. Your land they do over there. Yeah. There was a story of that older lady who had been fighting the city or whoever because they wanted to take her land to build, the resorts and stuff. Money, remember, the green. They'll do anything for that green. I love this street. I really do. But I didn't see anything for lease in terms of the home. I saw 2 homes listed. It says se vende, that means for sale. But I did not see se alquila, which means for lease. But if you are interested, you can always call any real estate person and they'll find out. I like this street. This is the trash receptacle. That's where you put your bags. And the road looks decent, right? I didn't see potholes. No. So that's why I think Hato Pintado is probably... Ooh, did I squeeze in there? Okay. Look at the gates. Oh my God, so pretty. Wow. I can visualize this street in the heyday, like in the 80s. How lovely. The houses would have been newer and, oh yeah. Yes. But like everything else, you walk a few hundred feet and things change. That was a mini super right across you're looking at. So you know that you could just walk over and get your pineapple and papayas. It looked well stocked. Got the plantains and the yuccas. Yep. All right. I had to take my time. I'm not rushing. It doesn't matter. I didn't rush and I was sweating up something crazy. There it is. So you can get your fruits and veggies. All right, it's going to start changing on you. So don't look any further if you're looking for apartments. So I'm giving you the lay of the land so you know where to stay if you're not buying. And the 2 homes I saw for sale, I know I couldn't afford to buy it. And I don't think I want to invest my hard-earned money into anything physical in any country. I'm not buying. And again, I might change my mind next week. But today, it's a no. This looks so Panamanian, this street there, right there. That's a good snapshot of Panama City. Wow. Like when you come to Balboa Avenue, you have all these high rises next to each other. No, here they're kind of scattered in between the houses, which is okay. I don't like that concentration of a bunch of tall buildings next to each other. I don't like that. The neighborhood feel is what we're missing here on Balboa. It's not a neighborhood. Okay, and then you have stores at the bottom with all the peaches, right? Yeah, this girl was doing something, taking some pictures. I wonder which direction La Loma is, where it might have been around here because it's right outside of Hato Pintado, where the murders happened. Now, I didn't read the details of the why, but the femicide, when the young woman was she shot? I think she was shot. And she was a assistant prosecutor or something. So she was, you know what, domestic violence doesn't discriminate, right? It doesn't matter how rich, how professional you are, it can happen to you. And apparently, did the person kill himself too? I don't remember. But it's always a tragedy, any way you look at it. Oh, I'm so glad I'm showing you this part because it's like giving you a nice view. And personally, I would not want to live in any of those apartments there because I'm thinking they're older, the wiring probably is not up to par. They're probably, I was thinking, they use like those window sill type of AC units. And then they use a lot of gas. Now, I'm not against gas. If I'm living in a private home, I know how I would service it, make sure everything is tight. It's when you are in those high rises and you have multiple, neighbors, and you know what you're doing, but you don't know what they're doing. And when there is an explosion, then innocent people get killed. That's the thing. Because when I went to see Ife, she said she uses gas, and most people use gas. But I think the odds are in your favor if you are in a house versus in a building with multiple occupants, people who may have a hint of dementia and not remembering things, turning things on, forgetting to turn them off. Oh yeah. Yep. Let's see, where are we? We're still walking. Now, you see why I had so many steps? Yes. This is called a dental clinic, SA. So that means it's huge in there. I'm wondering what this road is. I did not write any. And of course, I wasn't looking for any signs because probably there are none. In true Panama fashion, they may not have a sign that shows you the name of the road. And you just know. And I was coming up onto all these school buses, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of buses in one area. It turns out they're all attached to this huge school. And I don't know if parents have to pay for the school buses, but they are all over the city. Yellow, and I used to think they were just the mid-size, but I've seen some larger ones, so yeah. This must be a private school, college. I think it's like post elementary. They have primary and then they have secondary. Yes, here. Colegial. That's what you see on the side of the buses. So I would want to ask someone if the parents have to pay for the buses, or is it part of their tuition, or if it's a public college, does it come with the tuition? Probably a good thing to find out. I'm telling you, I'm seeing lots of ships lined up to enter the canal. All right. So I think we passed the school. And again, I was heading towards Avenida Fernández de Córdoba. And I think there was like an attendant on the left, and I asked him, I said, is that heading towards Fernández de Córdoba? And he said, sí. So, because El Ingenio would be on the left. If I had gotten to, and you see that thing on the right, it looks like a gymnasium or where the kids do sports. And on the right hand side, there was a lot of noise with kids playing. All the gates were down, and there were people at the gate. So they maintained security for the kids, which I was happy to see. Yep, that is Pueblo Nuevo, everyone. Welcome to Pueblo Nuevo. Let me introduce you to this typical Panamanian neighborhood called Pueblo Nuevo. New people. And oh, one little thing. When I was visiting a few years back, I remember a taxi driver telling me that this area used to be inhabited by people who work in the canal. Yes. So maybe they did the overflow. They weren't in Clayton, where most of the workers were. So they developed and built homes for them here. I thought it was a nice little tidbit. I am forever asking about the history of a place. Wherever I go, that's just the way it goes. And as soon as I get into an Uber or something, I start firing questions. Hey, what's up? What's been going on around here? Tell me about the politics. What is it? What challenges you? Yep. Remember, Curious George. I believe if you're a curious person, you remain engaged, your life is going to be that much fuller, right? And those on the right might be administrative offices for the school, because it seemed like it had a lot of kids. And do you believe in another clip, I just went right back. All this walking that I did down, you see that road there? That's Fernandez de Cordoba. And I was able to find the sign because this is where you enter Pueblo Nuevo. So if you thought I was lying to you, I'm going to show you the sign that says Pueblo Nuevo. Esprestos. I wonder if that's where the market is. I am planning on. Oh, there he goes, Pueblo Nuevo. And I'm back at the park. All right, y'all. This is gonna give you whiplash, right? Okay. Oh Lord, I need to learn to just do like a long video. The problem I have is because I don't have a camera per se, so I can't take long videos on my Android because then to upload it to the Google Drive takes forever. So this is what I was doing when I was checking out the park that is right behind PH Balcony and this other PH. I wonder what the prices are for this apartment. Not in how many. Balcony. Balcony is new, so they want to. Yeah, what are we going want you to? They want to charge you for the spanking new, and I'm like, I don't really care for spanking. Oh, look at that. Look at those benches you have. Doesn't that make you think of Parque Omar? Yep. Yes. Look at that. Look at that. I love seeing that. And then there was a lady coming. She looked a little concerned when she was coming, just passing me. And I was a little concerned because if somebody wanted to grab my phone in this park with nobody watching, yeah, look how pretty it is. Oh. But I said, if you're going to be walking, do not go by yourself at night down here. Make sure you walk in packs. Have somebody else with you, more than one somebody. Because if you have a group of you walking, it's less likely somebody is going to want to attack all of you. I think it also reminded me of Metropolitan Park, but Metropolitan is more condensed, gives you more of a tropical Brazil type, place. But here it's pretty open. Yep. All righty. I took my time. And again, I'm going down to the same road that I just passed. But I think I thought about not showing you the park. Ooh, look at those steps. Cuidado, cuidado, careful. I think my thought process was, let me go down. Uh, that way I can find some place that is kind of leveled, it's not up or down. Because, if you have knee issues and then you have to go up and down, it's hard. So pretty. Now, I wouldn't mind being close to the forest park of Hato Pintado. See. Up. This is where I was at Ray in the bathroom, just whoo. So I left Ray because I could not drink that sweet tea that she gave me. I think it cost at $2. I'm like, you can have it. And then she's like, oh, aquí no tenemos té verde. I'm like, but that's what I asked you for. You should have told me. But she said it's té frío. Right, so it's like iced tea. You know how when you buy iced tea in the States, unless you ask for unsweetened, ooh, mamma mia. I couldn't. So this road, this is 12 de Octubre, right? Right outside of Hato Pintado. So you get everything you need on this road. Remember what I said, do not rent an apartment right there on this road. Why would you want to do that? It's a major thoroughfare. Of course, there is Kentucky Fried Chicken. Do you know I have yet to try? They tell me the chicken is much better, but I don't know. I just don't think it's going to pass my lips. And there's another chicken restaurant here called, what is it? It will come to me. It reminds me of Chick-fil-A, right? I haven't eaten that one either, so I wouldn't know. Get those fingers out, Maggie. And then the rain started. Oh, it was nice right there. I was like, oh, I can choose to have my umbrella on or not. Oh, boy. Oh, why did I cross? Why did I cross? Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I'm still on 12 de Octubre. Yes. Now, 12 de Octubre is going to end on Pueblo Nuevo Metro Station. And I remember taking that walk from Rio Abajo. So, 12 de Octubre is perpendicular to Via España. So that's why Hato Pintado is like right in the middle. Pueblo Nuevo is like in the middle. Yep. But you can't dismiss how pretty, and look at those sidewalks. Oh, yep. And then the rain came down. Ooh, yes, sirree. So I took shelter underneath some awning in front of some building. And then I said, oh, let me go for it. Yep. A monsoon. I think I got to a place and I took shelter again. But I wanted to take the shots and show you what it looks like. And it's not paralyzing traffic or anything. Traffic is still flowing, right? And you have doctor's offices. I saw physical therapy. Now this little plaza, strip mall, I wanted to take shelter. And then I saw a Peruvian restaurant, and they had some healthy looking place. They had a Mexican. Look at the pharmacy. Farmacia Saba. Yep. That's a pharmacy. Let's see. Papa John's. Yeah. Athens Pizza, which is like this is a chain here because I've seen several. And they had the momi, and I was like, what is momi? I wanted to go in there. And then I realized it pastries and coffee. Okay. That's the kind. Yeah, probably better than Hortons. Hortons reminds me of Dunkin' Donuts, right? Um, but they had good pastries in there. There's a Wendy's in there. Not that I'm interested. Now, they had some apartments on the right on a street off. So this may not be too bad if you're looking for apartment not right there on 12 de Octubre. Wendy's. I braved the rain again. I'm like, I'm not gonna melt. I am not gonna melt. So I took off again. Lots of delivery mopeds, and you should see the guys. They were like decked in their rain gear, looking, looking good. Going down again, 12 de Octubre, towards Estación El Ingenio. Oh, no, Pueblo Nuevo. Pueblo Nuevo. Now, El Ingenio would be, if you were to take a left, you're probably going to be like maybe 2 miles. No, I'm not going to say north or south. Remember that. I get myself in trouble trying to orient myself in this city. I thought Albrook was on the south side. I've been saying that. And then ChatGPT said, no, it's on the western part of Panama. Via Saita. I thought it was east, and it said it's north. I'm totally turned around, okay? Do not listen to me giving you directions. I will tell you turn right, left, but if I say go east, you better check it out. Because I don't know. I am so turned around, but I do know that Costa Rica is on the west coast and that Colombia is on the east coast. That's all I know. I guess everything else could be central. Yeah, I guess so. Alrighty. The rain kept coming down. And I think I wanted to show you that Balboa building. And I'm thinking maybe that's a cerveceria, what they call them, where they make the beer. And the sidewalks became really teeny and narrow with all that rain. Oh, look at that. Ooh. Yes. Look at that. I squeezed myself in. I think this is a lady. Is she in front of me? We were walking, and then when we come to a really large puddle, we kind of look at each other. It's like, how are we going to cross? Look at that. So it's like you have to put your foot in there. Oh, we have a mobile bakery also. Yes. And we're getting close. This is the metro stop. Ooh, that was a busy day. On the platform, catching the metro to go home. I hope you guys enjoy this, give you a good view of what the Pueblo Nuevo looks like, and that if you ever want to consider that area, know that you're going to save some money. All right? This was Maggie reporting from Pueblo Nuevo. Ciao.